Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Amused Jester. My name is Junior. Aha, look at this. I have Darth Nihilus in my possession. This is from Hasbro G.I. Joe. No, not G.I. Joe. I'm sorry, guys. It's 5:30 in the morning. Star Wars The Black Series. Now, this is a Sith, so I'm really excited to get it. This was a sought-after figure because it kept on going sold out. But it came back in stock recently, and I finally have it. There's a side. This is a gaming figure, so I have no knowledge who this figure is, but it's Sith. And with the Black Series, if it's a Sith, I want it. I know I dragged out a little bit because there's a few right now that's a Sith and a Jedi. Like the Jedi the Jedi guards or something like that, temple guards. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to get that. Anyway, let me go and open it up and let's take a look at the toy inside. All right, guys, that's it. That's it out of packaging. It's just the lightsaber and the dude. It looks like he's wearing a cat hood. All right, so let's take a look close up of what he's got going for him. Alright, let me close up really quickly. There's the hilt of his lightsaber. I am absolutely not familiar with this figure because it is from the Star Wars games. I think it's from the Old Republic. So probably maybe Knights of the Old Republic 1 or 2. So, if you guys know in the comments and you want to show off your knowledge of Star Wars lore, just put it in there and I would appreciate it. Or I can just Google it. It's like, I suppose if I really wanted to be more smarter when I'm doing this video, I could just Google it and then relate the story to you guys. But I know you guys know the story. You guys are more... If you're turning into my videos, you guys are more smarter than I am when it comes to Star Wars. But I'm coming into this review as a simple toy collector, a toy enthusiast. Honestly, this guy really does look like he's designed from a cat's point of view. What the heck is up with that? He just so much looks like a cat, right? Like this looks like cat ears, and then this looks like a cat nose. So I have no idea if he's designed in that way. My niece was talking about how this guy kind of looked cool and everything. Maybe it's just the toy that looks like a cat. Maybe the actual figure. I do remember seeing this guy as an actual figure. It seemed like he was more menacing in that design. He kind of looks like an old, kind of like a mixture of Jedi and some robes. So still have this thing with the inside of the Jedi robes. Then you have some sort of padding on the inner jacket, kind of like Vader, and then this hand or gloves kind of like Vader-esque. So it's really very simple design. I bet you this is like an old design over the Jedi. So whoever made up this character design was still heavily influenced by the old Jedi design, because Sith is not designed like this anymore. Anyway, let's go ahead and look around at the articulation. Alright, so for articulation, he's got a plastic hood on top of him, or a rubberized hood. Makes me wonder where the seam is. Looks like this hood is just right here, like an actual hood that you can put on. So it's rubbery. Articulation is okay. Oh, surprisingly, for somebody who's hampered by this hood, he's still able to look even slightly up for the head. Wow, look at that. Quite a good range of the movement down. Let me take it up because now we know we can. So this is the old style. Huh. Now this is kind of interesting. I thought Darth Nihilus, the Flag series, was only released like maybe a year or so ago that I missed out on. But is this a re-release from a long way back of a figure that they released already? Because look, the articulation is very old. It doesn't have the articulation at the base of the neck that usually Black Series have. It's got pinholes on the joints. Huh. I think this might be a figure from more than a few years back. I did not know that. Okay, so more than T-pose, more than 90 on the shoulders. Obviously, you can turn it around. And oh yeah, because look, even this is where the improvement of the newest Star Wars really shine. Like this joint over here is old. The one on the elbow over here. Oh man, do I have any new Star Wars? All right, so let's do a quick Sith comparison, or more of a Hasbro appreciation review. All right, so I know we've been paying a lot of money for these toys, and it seems like everything's just going backwards on us, but this is a good thing, right? So this is $26, which we know when it comes to Star Wars and Disney and the Sith, for some reason they think it's justified to increase their price because it's a Sith, because we'll want it, right? But here's the thing though, let's look at the improvements that Hasbro has done in their figures. This guy has an articulation at the bottom of the neck for a wider range. This one does not. I want you to take a look at the elbow articulation. You see how much longer this is? And on some figures, this is much more longer too. And you can see there's an actual sculpt that's going on in that one. This one's the old style. Well, even though it's the same length, notice it still looks like a part of a ball. And the inside of this is still smooth, so it's still a part of the ball. It's like that's a big difference between the two. See that? So the sculpt is not as broken as this one is. Now the range for this one should be about the same, as you can see, 90 degrees. And of course, you still have the pin joints over here. You won't see that in the new Star Wars. And then even though this doesn't have a shoulder pauldron going on, shoulder armor, this one does. And one of the newest ones I've seen in the Star Wars Black Series, which they've carried over to the vintage collection, is that this is no longer attached to the shoulder, which they usually are, or they used to be. It now is connected as a ring behind the shoulder, so that you can really move this separate of the whole arm. That's really good. But then again, sometimes it kind of makes me afraid that maybe this might break off eventually. But yeah, well, what is this? I hope that's not paint. I've been painting. It's not. Sorry, I gotta move this really quickly. Yeah, so and this already has ankle joints, so that's not a big thing. But I just want to point out it's very, very small increments of improvements, but they're there, you know. And this guy, I think, is $24. Anyway, let me move him off to the side as we concentrate some more on this figure. Yeah. So again, these, oh, look at that guy. Ooh, wow, this guy can kick more than 90 degrees. That's excellent. And then, well, here's something that they should not have removed, but they did, is the thigh cut. Yeah, that's, I don't know why, especially, look, this could have been hidden underneath here. In a road figure, it's already hidden, and even back then when they were doing it, look, it's nice. It's not really that distracting. That's one of the things that I kind of wish they did not change. So I don't know why they did that, especially since they're adding all that added articulation anyway. So double jointed on the knees, down on the ankle, up on the ankle, side to side rocker. So yeah, so this guy, like I said, is $26.99, $26 for a reissued figure. I'm gonna give him a value of 10, base price 10. I knew that I was gonna get him. I was excited to get him, or getting the chance to get him, but so I'm not gonna give it. I'm not gonna subtract a point and put him below 10 because I knew what I was getting. I didn't know it was gonna be a reissue. Maybe I should. Yes, I'll give him a point deducted from that, so I give him a value of 9. Base of 10 equaling base price 10 equaling to $26 for, because I didn't know it was going to be, I didn't know it was a reissue. I'm not that familiar with old Star Wars toys. So it's got, for something that's got old technology like this and you're just straight reissuing it from a few years back, at least put it at the base price of a regular Star Wars. You know, $24.99. You know what I mean? Don't give him that additional bump in price that you usually do for newer released Sith or Jedi figures just because you know you can. So yeah, I'll give him a a value of 9. But yeah, I still had to get it, but I didn't know that it was a re-release, and that it's still holding on to older technology. Anyway, that's it for my review of Darth Nihilus. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you guys on my next review. Bye.